I got in the telecommunications business back in 1996, and I had sort of an untraditional path to get into this industry. Was in the car racing business. So I was professionally racing cars with a friend of mine all across the country, and this was shortly after I had sold a transportation business. And so I was looking for something fun and exciting to do, and the way you make a small fortune in the car racing business is you start with a really large fortune. And so we were trying to make that happen. And at one of the races in Ohio, a telecommunications company approached us and basically said, we'd like you to be an agent. And I had no clue what that meant. But basically what they said is, we will provide your race team sponsorship based on the value of whatever customers you send us and what they spend on a monthly basis. Very simply put, you refer us to customers who will use our long-distance services at that time. That time, long distance was anywhere from 22 to 28 cents a minute, and they could do it for 19 cents a minute. You send us customers to use long distance with us, either switched or dedicated. Whatever they spend, we'll send you a sponsorship check equal to 10% per month. And we thought, wow, what a really neat idea. And so what's ironic about that is the company that approached us, things didn't work out with. But we liked the idea and we liked the concept. And so we contacted other long-distance companies at the time. And we ended up working with a company called Unidial Communications out of Louisville, Kentucky, now known as Lightyear. Sherm Henderson. I've now been a Lightyear agent for over 12 years. We're agent number 341, which tells you how long we've been around. And there was a gentleman there named Jim Petrie, who actually was their vice president of sales and marketing at the time. He had come from Valvoline in motorsports marketing, so of course immediately embraced the whole car racing theme. And not only did they make us an agent, they provided us some sponsorship, but we were able to now sell their services, and were amazed at how successful we were with it. We had people that wanted to help our team, and they owned all sorts of businesses, from manufacturing companies to law firms, whatever the case would be. I couldn't tell you at the time what the difference was between switch long distance and what this dedicated thing meant, or what a T1 was. But I knew how to get customers interested and excited, and I got them with the Unidial folks at that time, and they became customers. Well, before we knew it, we were getting a couple $1,000s a month in commission checks from these people. And so at the end of 1996, my partner and I made the choice to split off the race team and the telecommunications company. He took over day-to-day operations of the race team. I took over day-to-day operations of the telecom company. And the new company was called PCG Telecom Consulting Group. PCG stood for Performance Consulting Group, tied to the racing thing. And so through all of our marketing collateral and in all the promotions that we do, we still involve the racing theme, because that's how I got started. And a few years ago, I got bought out of the race team, and he got bought out of the telecom business, but we're still very close friends. He's actually a customer of mine, and he's still very much involved in car racing. So it's really, really interesting. That's what got me into the telecom business, was a potential race team sponsor. But this was back in the days when long distance was really the only product you could sell. But as everyone knows, at the end of 1996, they broke up all the Bell monopolies. So they broke up all the Arbucks, the Quest of the world, and the Pac Bells, and the Southwestern Bells, and people like that. And so now there was competition for local phone service, for CLEC services. And being based north of Denver, we're in Fort Collins, Colorado, we were essentially in the hotbed, what I would consider of the West. So in Denver, we had TCG, Windstar, IG, all these people that had competitive services now. And so I'm changing the business model a little bit after talking to some other people who were Lightyear agents, a company called CostWatch Consulting Group. We're based in Boulder, Colorado. Really great guys. And they were very open and very sharing. And they said, hey, listen, we don't just sell for one telecom company. We sell for multiples, and we go into the customer. We actually help them audit and review their bills. And we find what's the best solution for them. And we, because of the extra value we bring, we charge a consulting fee equals to 2 months worth of the net savings. And I said, wow, what a great idea. And so I started to apply that business model, I think, in 1997. And so we became agents for a variety of carriers, again, still in long distance at that point, but very shortly thereafter started selling local phone services as well. And in the early days, there was a pent-up demand for local phone service. So companies had been used to having the RBOC, and the RBOC is the only option. And so you come in and show them, I can show you 3 or 4 different other options. Not only is there a cost savings, but you can now go for PRI instead of analog lines, and the contracts are a lot more friendly, and you get better service and just a better overall solution. So we were doing local phone service and long distance, and then of course that immediately gatewayed into internet type services, which were becoming very big at the time, and then all sorts of point-to-point T1s, and in those days it was frame relay networks. And so used this whole consulting model, worked with a variety of different customers. But the auditing and analysis standpoint, that really made us a trusted business advisor to these companies. And that's what really fascinated me and what differentiated us from all the salespeople that were out there. A salesperson's on the street to try to make a commission, so there's not an alignment of interest. And what I've always told my clients is we're essentially on the same side of the table with the client. The more money I make save that client, the more money I make as a consulting fee. And my best case so far was for a call center in New Mexico. It was the call before you dig people. I ended up saving them $8,000 a month strictly in local and long distance for a small 12-person call center.
Wow.
That was a $16,000 fee for us. But for them, that was a ton of savings, and that was over 5 years ago. So they put that money in their pocket every single month.
Right.
And so the auditing and analysis model, I think, is very, very powerful. It separates consultants and business advisors from salespeople. And a few years ago, when the economy was really bustling, sometimes people would say, I don't really care what you can save me in telecom. We're making so much money. Business is so great right now. Who cares if you can save me 10%? I'm making so much money. Well, in today's challenged economic climate, there's a renewed need for somebody who comes in with a consulting angle that has an alignment of interest and is there to save the company money. Nowadays, it's like if you go into a business, and I don't care whether it's a bank, a law firm, a manufacturing company, a call center, wherever the case is, you say I can show you a 5 to 10% savings. They're all over it. And you have an alignment of interest because as a consultant, we charge a fee based on what we save that customer. Those consulting fees and that business model is what led me to get in the equipment business in late 1997 and early 1998.